r/AskReddit, what's the contemporary equivalent to Marie Antoinette's alleged let them eat cake? How much can a banana cost? $10. Bill Gates went on some talk show and they asked him to guess the prices of common grocery items. It basically went like that line from AD. A can of soup $10. There's always money in the banana stand. I think we have a winner. Link. We don't pay taxes. Only the little people pay taxes. Leona Helmsley. I have a story about her. I used to work for one of her Harley hotels in Michigan. My general manager told me that he once wrote Leona a letter asking for raises for staff, thought it was all general managers but I'm not sure, and she wound up giving every other employee a raise but my GM who asked. She said something like someone had to sacrifice. Why don't they ask their parents for $300K to buy a house? I ran into this when buying a home last year. Kept getting asked why I wasn't asking family for help with a down payment. I'm the first person in my family in 2 generations to be able to buy a home and most of my family is on public assistance of some sort. Almost nobody in this day and age has money laying around to help someone else buy a home. The budgeting guide McDonald's put out for its employees. Walmart telling its employees to apply for welfare. A commercial with a social media influencer ending a riot with a bottle of Pepsi. That was embarrassing. Enjoy your stimulus check. Not to mention almost 4 years later and no one wants to work because of all that money. /S. Giving Americans $600 really was worse than giving them nothing. You just need to work harder and get a second job. Oh, you have a second job? Well, a third could be fun. Just monetize your hobby as a side hustle. Sleep is for the weak. Khloe Kardashian's comment isn't that cute when girls wrote to her telling her how long they've been saving to buy a pair of jeans. No one wants to work these days, Kim K. Get your ass up and work. When you make something so bad that it can be parroted by simply doing it again with a straight face, link. Like what she did, sex video w/fucking Ray J of all people, was work. If that's the case, she should be praising sex workers for all their hard labor. Use the second bathroom if you've got COVID and live with other people. When we bought our condo, I insisted on a minimum of 2 toilets. If I'm getting a mortgage, I don't want to fight about who gets to POO. I've never lived in a home that has had more than 1 bathroom. I'm 61, 6 people in my family growing up. We got by. One of the Dutch MPs replied to a young student who was concerned that she would never own a home, well, maybe it's time to find a rich boyfriend. Like it sounded like he meant it as a joke, but it was the most tone deaf he could have been. Oh, and he's Minister of Housing and Spatial Planning. Whoops. Nancy Pelosi trying to demonstrate how she's struggling with the pandemic, just like the rest of us, by showing her Sub-Zero freezer packed full of premium ice cream. Didn't she also get busted going to a hair salon while her state had a stay-at-home order in place? Canadian Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland, when commenting on the increasing cost of living in Canada, said she had to cancel her Disney Plus subscription. The boys sending up this and the other top comment, imagine singing, was great. Gavin Newsom eating dinner at a private party at a $1,000/plate restaurant while every other restaurant in the state is closed to indoor dining. SCOMO pissing off to Hawaii while Australia was on fire, refusing to come back, and then forcing handshakes. I'm honestly a little surprised no one punched him. Honestly, being someone who lost their house in the fires, I wish he'd fucking stayed in Hawaii. Years ago around the recession there was a story about a student at a university who was hearing someone speak on campus about inflation and the rising cost of living. The speaker commented that while things like food, housing, education, healthcare were going up, the price of TVs and iPads were going down, to which someone responded, "I can't eat an iPad." I wish I could recall the specifics more, but it was a very let them eat cake sort of moment. New York Federal Reserve Bank President William Dudley, 2011. Wearing a jacket with "I really don't care. Do you?" on the back while visiting detention centers that were forcibly taking children from their families. And then denying it meant anything, then admitting like a year later your first denial was a lie and obviously it did. Just get a better job. As if they hadn't thought of that, and as if the shit job they currently have doesn't need doing by someone. If millennials ate less avocado toast, they'd be able to actually afford to buy houses. Fuck, I was just thinking about this the other day. Economy is fucked, I'm never going to afford a house, I need to find somewhere to actually try some of this magical avocado toast. Never had it, and now I just want to flip Boomers the bird. I will never understand how that commercial made it that far. How did no one step in and raise concerns? Get off your ass and work, says Kim Kardashian, who built her fortune on her back. Her family was rich to start too. She was Paris Hilton's friend before she made her trashy family famous. Hey David Cameron, after a lavish banquet, standing at a golden lectern and giving a speech extolling the virtues of austerity. In Australia, it's to stop buying avocado on toast if you want to purchase a house one day. They say this in the US also. IIRC, the author of that fun little article, pulled himself up by the family bootstraps to the tune of $1 million from mommy and daddy. Just learn to code, bro. Reddit literally telling everyone this, as if everyone has aptitude for this. The irony is that the simple act of knowing how to code didn't make a difference, because the tech companies are done hiring every applicant who has Python bootcamp certificate and are laying all of them off now. It was just like so. I mean like so. Ben Shapiro saying that if the ocean levels rise, people with shorefront property can just sell them and move. Sell them to who, Ben? The fucking mer people? Fucking Aquaman? The fact that people think this guy is smart is so embarrassing for Western civilization. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I find this saying really interesting, since the original context of the phrase was along the lines of, do something impossible. This gets said a lot by people who didn't have to do it themselves. Chrystia Freeland making the suggestion to financially struggling Canadians to cancel their Disney Plus subscriptions. Going to Cancun while your constituents freeze to death. Then making a joke about the following year. And blaming it on his daughter LMAO. Dave Ramsey telling younger generations not to take out mortgages that will take more than 15 years to pay off, when for so many even the 30-year ones are completely out of reach, then implying that younger generations must have a work ethic or spending issue. Fucking unreal. The behind-the-scenes video link is so good. Funny, every millennial and younger I've worked with has worked themselves to the bone, while all the boomers I've ever worked with were incredibly lazy and glued to their phones. It's one banana, Michael. What could it cost? $10. Buy an apartment if you can't afford a detached house. Stop buying avocado toast and lats. The late Queen of England telling people to live within their means on TV while wearing the largest diamond in history on her head. Most recently was the King reading about the cost of living crises in the UK while wearing dressed in the full King's wardrobe like it's still the 1600s. Monarchs in modern times are utterly absurd to me, lol. To be fair, this was the Queen's speech, which she didn't write. The government writes it to outline its agenda for the year, then we all pretend it's the monarch's idea. Trump throwing paper towels to Puerto Ricans to help clean up after a hurricane. Not to mention that he seemed not to know that Puerto Rico was part of the United States. A jacket that said "I don't really care, do you?" while traveling to see children held in cages. Singing "Imagine" to all the poors from inside your mansion. Trickle-down economics. Don't buy coffee if you want to afford a house. Why try to fix it? Just throw it out and buy a new one. Yeah, except the Imagine thing actually happened, which makes it worse. Hello everyone. Thanks for sticking to the end of this video. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to humbly ask you to subscribe to the channel. According to my statistics, 100% of my viewers in the past 28 days are not subscribed. I have always wanted this channel to reach 1,000 subscribers, and if you want to support and be a part of that, subscribe. It's free and it's an awesome way to support the channel. Thanks again. Reddit glitch out.